Hello. So we are now discussing another concept in accounting in the continuation of a series of discussion of accounting concepts, which is a dual aspect concept and also referred as double entry principle. And in that, we'll also discuss a very important concept of accounting, which is accounting equation. The entire accounting is based upon this equation, and we'll see in the future sessions also that with the help of this accounting equation, we can also record journal entries and we start the process of accounting. What is this double entry principle or dual aspect concept is? It basically says that every transaction which we record in our books of account will have dual effect, which means to say that whatever transaction we are doing will at least impact two accounts, and that it will impact in the respective opposite side. Now, before we understand this, I'll also introduce in this session an important equation which is referred as an accounting equation, which stands it that is assets is equal to liabilities plus capital. Now, before we move to this, let's also have a brief understanding what is an asset. For a business, the asset is something which the business owns. So this is something which business owns, and asset is something which will help in generating revenue or income for business. So we invest in the business in the form of assets. Why do we acquire assets? We acquire assets because we expect that by investing in these assets, by buying these assets, we will be able to generate more and more revenue, we'll be able to generate more and more business. So asset is what which company owns, that this is what the business owns about it. We have discussed in the very first concept, which is called as a separate entity principle, that a business and the owners are separate. So when I'm talking about the assets, I'm talking about the asset owned by the business. So let's take an example. Let me take an example. Let's take there XYZ Limited, which is there. And this is a recap of the original principle we discussed, which is business entity principle. So XYZ Limited purchased car, right? So XYZ Limited purchased car, and this car has been purchased by paying cash. So car price, let's assume, is 500,000. So 500,000 is the price of a car, and a business has paid cash of rupees 500,000. Now understand this. This cash was also an asset for the business. The car is also an asset for the business. And this car has been purchased by XYZ Limited. Clear? This is not purchased by Mr. X or Mr. Y or Mr. Z. Mr. X, Mr. Y, Mr. Z may be a promoter, may be the owner of the company, but the car is not in their name. The car is in the name of XYZ Limited. It is a property of XYZ Limited, and therefore it will be shown as an asset of XYZ Limited. It will not be shown as an asset of Mr. X. It's a property of XYZ Limited. XYZ Limited has paid cash to acquire, and this was also one of the asset to acquire another asset, which was a car, right? So this asset is what is owned by XYZ Limited. This asset, which is a car, will be used so that the revenue of the company or the business of the company will be increased with the help of this asset, which is a car. Now, coming back to the accounting equation. So again, let's take an example. A car has been purchased by paying a cash of 50,000 rupees. Now, if you see here, in this also, there are two accounts which are getting impacted. One, the car as an asset is coming in the business. That's one transaction which has happened. And this reverse opposite is one of the asset is going out, which is cash. So this is what I was meaning about a dual aspect. There's a duality which is happening. That means at least two accounts will be getting affected. Let's take another example. Let's take another example where the asset of 500,000, which is a car, has been acquired. How it has been acquired? First, it has been acquired by paying a cash of, let's say, rupees 200,000, and also by taking a loan of 300,000, which means company has, what has happened in this transaction, there is a liability which is coming up. So there's a liability which is coming up of 200,000 plus there's a cash of 300,000 which is going out of the business. Let me make it more simple. And this equation applies also to individuals also. Let's take, you want to purchase a car and you want to purchase a car of 5 lakh rupees. Now, where this 5 lakh rupees or 500,000 rupees will come from? You have only two options. First option is I'll put my own money for buying this car, which means your own money is your capital. So the entire asset of 500,000 is been coming from this 500,000 in form of a capital. So which means this is 500,000 on the asset side, this is 500,000 on the capital side. So assets is equal to liabilities plus capital. There is no liability at present. So the accounting equation holds true. Let's take the second situation. You want to buy a car, which is an asset here, again of 500,000, but you don't want to invest more than 200,000 of your own money. So you say, okay, I will pay rupees 200,000 or 2 lakh rupees from my own pocket, which is my capital. From where the remaining amount will come. But obvious, you will take a loan and that loan will become a liability. So this becomes a liability, which is a 300,000. So again, the accounting equation holds true that asset of worth of 500,000 is equal to liabilities of 300,000 plus a capital of your own of 200,000. And this will always hold true. So your accounting records have been prepared by ensuring that this accounting equation will always remain true. And this is also very, very important concept. Why it is an important concept, which is also, we also say that in the balance sheet always tallies. Why does balance sheet always tallies? Because balance sheet will have two sides. One side will be in assets, is what we own, the business owns. What the business owns, all this what has been owned by the business has been, from where is the money coming from? The money is coming from only from two sides. One which is a liability side, and liability side comprises of two parts. One is a capital plus other liabilities. So the total of asset side must match with the total of all these side here. And that's the reason why it is always said that balance sheet will always tally. Why balance sheet always tally? Because we prepare our accounting record by keeping this dual aspect concept or by ensuring that accounting equation always remains true. If the accounting equation all remains true, then whatever assets have been acquired, which is also, and this all these assets have been acquired only by either by the own capital which has been entered or by taking some liabilities. And therefore we also say that by the help of this, if the balance sheet is not tallying, it means some error must have happened. So this duality principle also helps the accountant in checking some kind of errors. Now what kind of errors may happen? The errors which may happen, if I take the same example, that while recording the transaction, instead of recording 200,000 here, I recorded 20,000. So what is happening? On the balance sheet side, it is 500,000. So on the asset side, it is 500,000 of the asset, which is a car. But on the liability side, which comprises of capital plus liability, capital is showing 20,000. The liability is showing 300,000 and the total is not tallying. Clear? And the total is not tallying, which means some kind of error has happened while maintaining the accounts. So this is important that the accounting equation always ensures that the balance sheet always tallies. Rather, the balance sheet always tallies because the accounting equation has been followed and the total of all the assets has been equal to total of the capital plus the liabilities. So this is a very, very important concept in the accounting equation. The entire accounting records are being prepared by ensuring that this equation is taken care of. In the future sessions, we'll also discuss that we can use this equation in also recording a transaction. Till now, we have not used the word which is debit and credit. So this equation can be used also there, that how to record which transaction on debit side and which transaction on credit side, and how to suitably do the estimation of profit and loss. So I hope you are able to understand this accounting equation, which is assets is equal to liabilities plus capital. And it is because of this equation that the balance sheet total of asset is always equal to the liabilities, which is a composition of capital plus liabilities part. And it is because of this that the accountant, if the balance sheet is not tallying, it can be an impact that some kind of error in the recording transactions have happened. So I hope you are able to understand this. We'll continue this in future session. Thank you very much.